What's in the black box? Which is a stupid question because you saw the thumbnail. Anyways, this is another one of those videos where we're just going to unbox a new replica that I picked up on the table, take a first couple of looks at it, just hang out and chat. This isn't the full review video. We will do that after this, where I showcase everything in a more cinematic and more pleasing and more exciting way. This is just like one of those old school fun style videos where I'm just going to start yapping a little bit, and we'll take a first look at the brand new to my table WE09, I think they call it, or it's an AK12 without the same name. Anyways, one thing that I do want to say, I picked this up from Evic, and something I did notice when I had originally taken it out of the box was, for some reason, the tape was already cut on the box. Now, this isn't my first time opening this, but the tape was cut, and I imagine when Evic imported it, maybe customs went through it or something like that. So I do want to say I have done nothing to this replica yet except for open the box. I took the orange tape off, and I popped the orange cap off the front because those are just ugly and it's totally legal to do in my area. Give it a little money shot. Yeah, it's an AK-12. It is just a fancy, futuristic, new school style AK straight out of the box. And this is from WellPro. Again, not sponsored. I purchased this myself, and this is something that I've had my eye on for a hot minute, and I'll explain why in just a second. So first we have the AK-12. See what else is inside the box. We'll take it all out. You get your chonker. This is a serious brick of a mag. Comes with a cleaning and unjamming rod, which we don't need to take out right now. Looks like we have an adapter, a speed loader, and some Allen keys, and then some BBs, which I imagine are honestly probably pretty solid BBs, but just for the sake of safety reasons, I am not going to use those. Close the box, get it off the table, and then we'll take a look at the AK-12. Now, originally the reason that I picked this up was because a little ways back, Lancer Tactical actually sent me the WellPro PPK-20, which, to my surprise, was phenomenal. It was built beautifully. It was solid. It fired really well. Great gas efficiency, great accuracy, great consistency. It was just mwah. And I know WellPro originally, a long time ago in the past, was kind of like that company that made cheap and affordable replicas and didn't really care so much about how good things were. But they just completely reinvented themselves recently and have started diving into the gas blowback world, and they have been going absolutely bonkers. They even have a MWS system that either just came out or it's on its way out that I'd love to take a look at. But these are their AK systems, and if I'm not mistaken, they're modeled after the Marui AK systems, which are really cool. It's like the MWS to the AK world, where it's not functioning like an AK internally, it's functioning like an Airsoft AK. So the parts glide, flow, and move so much better. So one thing that I am noticing, yeah, okay, so kind of like the PPK-20, these come like overly greased, and I imagine it's just to reduce rust and stuff while they're sitting in the shipping crates and things like that. So you're gonna want to like wipe all of that off. You can even see it. It's on the mag. It's probably all over the mag well. Kind of check the inside here. It's unsafe. Yeah, there's just a bunch of gunk in there. So before we do film with this, I'm gonna totally clear this thing out. I'm gonna wipe it down with some like alcohol pads, and then I'm just gonna relubricate it myself. I want to. Okay, so this is the smaller variant. Believe it or not, there are two different variants. I think there's the AK-12 and the AK-12-23. I could be totally wrong. It's just a shorter one. I picked up the slightly shorter variant just because I wanted to be able to move around and be a little bit more like tactile with it. The orange tip from Evic came pinned in place. It was just a cap, which was really nice. So it doesn't totally destroy the muzzle, but it's kind of annoying that they drilled a hole and stuck a pin through it. Looks like the adapter, or the muzzle brake, actually has a small little grub screw that locks it in place, so that's really nice. Another thing that I noticed, I was moving my finger on it, don't know what moves. So this guy, I guess, is like a swivel mount, but it moves the entire time. I don't know if that's true to like the actual AK12s, but I can imagine that's going to make a lot of noise when you're moving around. So I don't know, maybe you could pop that off if you're not going to use the sling up in the front. So these are elevation adjustable. It's really cool. Dang, this thing is rock solid. The grip on the front is pretty dang solid. Upper and lower solid. The dust cover moves ever so slightly, but not a whole lot. I do know that you can move these, so it's got like special mounts on the back, so you can take these rail segments and move them towards the back side if you want to. You could do it on both sides, which is really cool. You have a ton of rail space up on the top, some rail space on the bottom. Something also really cool about these, like the WellPro PPK20, the WellPro PP19, PPK19, and then of course this guy, the WE09, they have this weird rocking system, so it's very AK reminiscent, but when you do move it into semi and auto, it rocks downwards and then forwards. I don't know if you could see that like anchoring system. So it's AK-esque, but with like a AR twist, the best of both worlds. So that's semi and that's auto. Let's kind of see what the charging handle feels like. Oh. I mean, modeling off of the Tokyo Marui AK systems, you expect it to be smooth, but that is so smooth. Check out the trigger here. So you got a lot of room. There's no noticeable break. It just kind of lets go when it wants to. It travels an extra couple millimeters. The reset. Definitely very slippy with a very small snap into place. It's like super weak. Yeah, it's really nothing special. AK trigger. Honestly, it's a better AK trigger than most AK triggers, but that's because it's the TM system and not like an actual AK system. And then that should be your auto. Yeah. So on the real steel, I know this is to lock in place the charging handle, so you can actually lock the bolt open. Does it? So we are just shy of that position. I don't know if there's like a buffer in the back that maybe you could take out to get it to lock, but I can't see why you'd want to. Another thing, so like the PPK20, the rear sight is adjustable, elevation and windage. So you can windage adjust it by this little screw here, and then elevation adjustable, you'll notice you can't move it unless you depress the small little aperture, and it'll lock in place at different heights, which is really cool. So it's elevation adjustable too. Another thing cool, so since it's kind of like a futuristic AK, if you take the mag and insert it, which we'll take a look at now, movement-wise, there's really no like significant snap in place. It's very soft. See how it kind of just like falls in place? It's super smooth, but it's not like that standard like lever click. Hear it? You can like hear nothing. It kind of just like slides in place. In terms of movement, minimal forward and backwards. Very little, almost none side to side, and there's nothing up and down. That is really solid in place. So the cool part is it's kind of reminiscent of like a, what is the, I don't know, I can't remember the replicas that work like this, but it's got the standard AK mag release, and then it's also got ambidextrous releases for your index finger, which is really cool too. Just have the lever. There's a lever down here. I've never actually owned a TM system, but I've seen a bunch of things on them. I think there's a dry fire lever down here somewhere that I have to look at. I don't want to mess around too much with it. So this grip panel is proprietary. They do have like 3D printed ones available, but you can't actually throw like AK style grips on here unless you 3D print a brand new trigger guard, and then you can throw AK style grips on here. So if you don't like this grip, you can modify it if you want to. The stock does fold. I can't see any reason besides storage why I would fold it. And then it locks in place. It's kind of like a regular AK folding stock. And then you could just pull it straight out and apart. Got some QD mounts in the back. You know what I do want to notice, check? I want to see if those QD mounts are steel. So it's really important that QD mounts are steel, and there's a reason for it, because a lot of the times when you do get these sling mounts for it, the sling mounts are made of steel. And if the QD mounts on the inside aren't made of steel, those steel bearings and the steel attachment piece will quickly wear down on the non-steel insert. And with those being steel, you won't have any problem. Looks like, kind of like the HKs, they have a small little pin holder. It's another place to latch a sling. Very firm rubber butt pad. And then it should be able to adjust the stock. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll get into that in a second. 5, 6 stock adjustment points. And then you probably just saw it. This is your cheek riser, which is really cool, which I think you just push up and forward and it'll latch in place. That's not going anywhere unless you push it back. And I love the way that looks. And that is rock solid. Stock doesn't wobble too much. Honestly, it wobbles minimal for what I would think. A little more up and down than it does side to side. Ooh, sorry, just hit the camera. Really nice. Let's see, we got obviously polymer, polymer, polymer. The lower receiver is steel. The dust cover is steel. Your rails are aluminum. This whole front panel is going to be some sort of polymer or plastic. All of your rivets and stuff and pins and everything are steel. Trigger is aluminum. It looks like... Okay, interesting. So the mag release is actually plastic, but the part that latches on to the mag itself is steel, so that's really nice to see. Interested to see the inside in a minute. Fire selector is steel, with the exception of this added lever, which seems to be aluminum. Really well done. But your bolt, the bolt is some sort of aluminum alloy. Your barrels, gas block, and everything, sights, and muzzle are all going to be aluminum. Let's check out the mag. The mag is going to be a part that I think a lot of people are either going to love or hate. To me, it kind of looks like a transformer. No way. The entire mag is aluminum with a steel base plate. Now, so your fill valve is on the back. Really cool. Okay, so it's a lot like the Tokyo Marui AK mags. The only thing that I do know is the Tokyo Marui AK mags will not fit in here. They are not flip-floppy, unfortunately. So you're probably just going to pick up a bunch of these. Another really cool like feature added onto these mags is this flat plate on the back. So in like a prone position or something, it allows you to hold the replica stable. So that's kind of cool. I wonder if it can stand itself up like that as well. Oh, it totally can. It like acts like a mock bipod, if you will. Really cool. Really cool. Okay, let's just kind of test it out really quick. I think what we'll do is fill this guy up with a little bit of propane. You can hear it going in. It's a single wave valve, unlike a lot of the Tokyo Maruis, which are going to be like dual stage, so there's no extra gas spilling out. I imagine he's going to have a really, really large reservoir as well. And I don't know if we can dry fire this thing, but why don't we give it a test? Like I said, I think there's a dry fire switch on the TMs, but I don't know. I thought it was under here. I thought one of the bars in the bottom somewhere was a dry fire switch. The question is, where was it? It was up in the front, right? So if you look at the mag, the right side of the mag, there's a small little latch, and I imagine that has something to do with your dry fire. So if I go to the, so that would be the left side over here. Is there a bar or something that I can move? Someone's screaming at me in the comments section here. Okay, screw it. We're going to throw a couple BBs in there. Let's see if it loads with the T238 Pro Speed Loader. Because if it does, that makes my entire filming, editing, and gameplay so much easier. I think these mags are supposedly easier to fill than the standard Maruis are. Okay, so I just want to get BBs up to the top so we can figure out how many BBs can load on the inside of this thing. So you can see that all of the BBs are loaded up to the top here. Oh, I love AKs. Let's get this guy on. How does it sit? It sits okay. Let's just go for it here. Oh, maybe not. Little angle. Yeah. Okay. Little angle was all that we needed. Perfect. Okay. I'm just going to throw off like maybe 3 shots here. That's all I'll do since we're inside. It's a little bit stiffer to rack back, I assume because it was full. And by the way, I didn't mean to tell you, but I think it's got 38 BBs, 42 BBs, something like that. Somewhere in between that range. I'll get a better number for you when we do the actual like testing. So here we go. We'll go 3 shots. Oh. Holy smokes, that sounds really nice. Wow. Wow. That is a really nice sound, really nice snap. That rings like AK. Oh, I really like that. That's loud. It's got a nice firm kick to it. It's got some nice weight. It's very snappy for an AK. Like, it's not like a GHK AK that's like more on the sluggish side. That is like pop, pop, pop. I feel like some serious repetitive shots can pop out of that. Let's see what the inside looks like. I think, so what's really cool about these is a lot of people will not throw an optic on the rail, which is on top of the dust cover, because with AKs, the dust cover notoriously has a hard time holding a 0. However, with these guys, they're actually pinned in place a little bit differently. There's no button in the back. There's these pins on the sides that latch under hooks, and then a pin in the front. So it's much more stable than like a regular AK dust cover. So a lot of people say that this should be totally fine. It's kind of like any time that you take an AK and you latch the dust cover up to the handguard, it immediately becomes a better way to mount an optic as opposed to mounting the optic from the side or up at the front. So like I said, you pull this pin out, a little different from the PubiixCubez, which has like a lever pin. Pull it back. You can see there's 2 pins that latch. Oh my gosh, look at all of the grease in that thing. You see all that? Hold on. Look at all of that gunk. Holy. Yeah, I'm going to have to clean all that out. And try not to get as dirty as possible. Pull this guy forward. See, it's got like an authentic AK style recoil spring and guide rod. It's got this buffer in the back too. Let's get a little look. See, obviously the spring's going to be steel. These parts are aluminum. The buffer, oh, that's cool. So the buffer is steel. And it looks like it uses, instead of like a spring, 2 thick, fat chunk boy O-rings to create some cushion. Cool idea. I like that because then you can replace those instead of getting a spring. Let me just push this down. I'm going to try and keep myself as non-greasy as possible. Pull out the bolt. Yeah, dude, that is, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that is, just going to try and get a flashlight on this. That is like a clone of the AK from TM. Hop up. You can see the wheel on the side. Very interesting. So I imagine this will take Marui parts, and it should be standard gas blowback spec as the other WellPros are, which I'm really excited about. It's the bolt. It's a thick nozzle. Look at that thing. It's a thick nozzle, and it is under spring tension. Oh, it's got a nice gas seal to it too. You hear that? Yeah, it's got a nice seal to it. Really cool. Now let's see just one last thing before we wrap things up. I want to see what kind of parts we're dealing with here. So the internals are some sort of aluminum. They are not steel, but they all look very large. And if we learn anything from Marui's, they don't have to be steel as long as they're large connection points. And again, it's not like a standard AK. These are designed to work with airsoft, so these parts should wear down very slowly, which I mean, should have no problems. I just got to clean a lot of that grease out because that is just caked up in there. I guess it's better that it's greasy rather than bone dry. But I don't want to run it like that. I imagine this is probably like all that grease is probably taking some of the extra like metal parts and stuff out from machining and whatnot. Because I understand like a lot of these companies, they're mass producing these. So that's no problem. You see how easy that is to put back on. It's like an extra step from a standard AK. Super sick. Okay, so if there's anything that I missed or that you want me to cover during the actual review video, just let me know. I'm really, really excited. I know that I put up a poll and asked if we wanted to see this, the VFC AK, or a Sten. And foolishly, I didn't realize the VFC AKs were nowhere in stock in the US, and the tariffs are ridiculous right now. And the Sten is impossible to get a hold of, and they just like nowhere has them in stock new. I don't even know if they're making them anymore. So I'm not done with those. They'll come. This just decided to show up first. Again, thanks Evic for getting them in. Thanks WellPro for making these. I can't wait to get to the next review video. Pick with Patch. I'll see you in the next adventure. Peace.